Hello and welcome to Rising Earth News. I'm Lauren, and here at Rising Earth, we're telling the amazing stories from individuals, businesses and communities from around the world that are helping to shape the future for sustainable living. Coming up today, where to find hope amidst the climate and COVID emergency. How is Ghana promoting youth-led leadership in renewable energy? We take a look at the 2020 Ashden Awards winner for financial innovation for energy access, and we'll check in with the latest updates with our renewable energy report. First, we'll be hearing from Jonathon Porritt, British environmentalist, author, broadcaster, and co-founder of Forum for the Future.
So obviously it's going to be the young people and their children and the children of them who are going to be most affected by climate change. What is your take on the youth climate movement at the moment? You know, do you think that it is happening fast enough? Do you think that changes are being made quick enough?
I think 2019 was an astonishing year, to be honest, Lauren. It was just a utterly inspirational thing to watch more and more young people realizing that today's politicians are not going to do what they should be doing, and getting involved in the school strikes movement, following the example of wonderful leaders like Greta Thunberg and so on, and making their presence felt. And throughout the whole of 2019, we saw this movement grow, so that by the end of the year, astonishing statistic, more than 7 million young people protested during the course of 2019 on the streets of one city or another. 7 million. I mean, this is the most amazing thing. I found this absolutely wonderful. And Extinction Rebellion was also on the streets at the same time, so it was a good combination. Now, we're in the middle of the coronavirus crisis, and of course, a lot of that momentum was lost at the beginning of 2020. Very difficult for young climate activists now to rebuild that momentum. So one of the key things for me is to work with young people's organizations today to help them reestablish the urgency behind climate change and see how they can flex their muscles again with politicians who otherwise, I'm sorry to say, will continue to fall short of what is being asked of them. And for young people, that is just so frustrating.
As we are coming out of lockdown and COVID, well, the COVID-19 lockdown, not quite COVID-19 yet, but in what way can we use our experiences of lockdown to generate and refuel that passion and that energy for the climate?
That is absolutely the right question to be asking now, because we don't want to lose some of the learning that we've acquired during the lockdown. And part of that was to do with what I call the kind of community solidarity, the reminder that we are all dependent on each other. We create the kind of communities that we live in, and we can work together and help vulnerable people in those communities. And honestly, that was just so inspiring to see how mutual aid groups came together. Everybody volunteered, everybody recognized that we have to do this together. And the second bit of that was, as you've just said, was suddenly realizing, whoa, the natural world, our local environment is pretty special. It is amazing to see blue skies again. It's amazing to hear bird songs, wonderful to hear of the breathing space going on in nature. And we don't want to lose all of that. So for me, the critical thing now is to ensure that as we rebuild our economy, which we're going to have to do because our economy is in a pretty poor state at the moment, we have to rebuild it in such a way that we continue to see both of those things, the community solidarity and the greening of the local environment. And I wish that the government had announced a much more ambitious package on both of those two fronts, but I'm sorry to say that that is still something to come. They haven't got there yet. They've got a few green ideas moving, retrofitting some of our worst quality housing in this country, a little bit of money, £40 million doled out for a little bit of greening of the countryside and things like that. But it's a pittance in comparison to what we need to do. So we have to keep the pressure up on all of that as well.
And, you know, the environmental issue is just a one, you know, that cares about social issues, that cares about issues of equality. And like you said, if we can tie all of that together, then, you know, there's our hope. There's our hope.
There's our hope. You see, we keep coming back to hope. The great thing is, Lauren, anybody who thinks this is just all doom and gloom and we're all going to hell in a handcart and it's too late to do anything about it, those are very dangerous voices. Don't listen to them. It is not too late. It is absolutely not. It may be too late to avoid significant disruption to our lives through climate change. It is too late for that. Our lives are going to be disrupted, but it is not too late to avoid the real meltdown story, the runaway climate change story. And in order to stop that happening, all of these solutions will add massively to the quality of people's lives, to economic improvement, social justice, and so on. There is so much hope in there. There really is.
Next up, Nadia's with Barnaby and Sammy from Dream Renewables, a 4-week intensive course teaching Ghanaian school leavers the practical skills they need to get into renewable energy.
Good afternoon, it's Barnaby and Samuel joining me from Dream Renewables to talk about their practical renewable energy course for students in Ghana. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
If you could tell me a little bit about Dream Renewables and what is the aim of the course?
So we've got 3 key aims really. The first one, and I think the most important one, is to increase locally led renewable energy initiatives in Ghana. This is important because there are lots of renewable energy and environmental initiatives in Ghana, but they're generally not locally led. They're often led by international companies, and therefore it doesn't improve education and it doesn't help the local economy. Lots of the money from these projects it's actually going outside of Ghana. Secondly, to encourage higher uptake of the educational opportunities in Ghana, so higher education and vocational educational opportunities once students have left school. Because there are a lot of good opportunities there in Ghana, surprising amount actually of good, fairly low cost opportunities in renewable energy and environmental sustainable solutions, but the education at the school level is not there. And that's really what we're trying to tackle. And the third one is just to increase the public knowledge and awareness in renewable energy so that there's just a general acceptance and it will be taken up by the community at a grassroots level. And we do this really, as Nadia said at the beginning, through its intensive educational programs that cover both the engineering and entrepreneurial aspect of renewable energy. And one of the really core strengths I feel of our program is the alumni group. So once students have completed these sort of short intensive courses, they become part of a group of alumni who are supported a lot by Dream Renewables and definitely moving forward to set up projects and initiatives in their community using what they've learned.
This sounds amazing. It sounds a really practical type of course. So, Sammy, I've heard this phrase that's used in Ghana about the teaching system, and I think Barnaby introduced me to the phrase, and it's kind of a chew and pull teaching system. Can you explain what's different about this course and why are you looking at the practical aspects?
So you see that when students are coming out from school, they don't really have the practical knowledge in the applications of what they learn, but all that they know is that they are just passing exams, and then it goes on and on and on and on. And then I believe that with Dream Renewable, our structure and then our style of teaching, you see that Dream Renewable, we want to let the students know the practical aspect of whatever that they do learn, not just the one in the book, but everything that will be teaching them in the book will help them in order for them to bring it out on the practical field, even as somebody who can go out there and do something on his or her own. That is what Dream Renewable is all about. Practicality of whatever thing that we did was so marvelous. The student had the feel of whatever that they saw or they learned from the books to bring out the practical experience in they building the solar panels and then even the wind turbine that we did build on our own. You know, the students were excited, and then even with the volunteers, some of us had learned a lot about the wind turbine and all that, but the practicality was not there. So that is what Dream Renewable is actually putting in place, that the students will have that practical view. And then also the mini projects that we let the students undertake. The one Barnaby was speaking, he made mention of one of our students who has been able to design a system for local schools, which is actually a plus for Dream Renewable. So that is what we are in to actually change about the Ghana education system.
One of the key principles of Dream Renewable is learning through doing projects. Just want to sort of repeat that because I think it's really important. It's our key thing, you know. Throughout all our education programs, we do small projects to help students understand all the different aspects of a project and how to bring a project together.
You guys were actually able to make a solar panel and make a wind turbine from scratch last year in the course, and now one of your students has gone on to design a solar system for a local school. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
That's wonderful. So is there any way that people can get involved for this year or support your course, which is happening this year?
Yeah, there are. So we've got a really great course planned for this year. We focused this year on solar energy because the feedback we got last year was really the most important one. That was what people got passionate about, and that's what had the most potential for people. So we've designed a really great course based on, again, the engineering and entrepreneurial aspects of solar energy. And we've got lots of great industrial partners who are going to help us teach this course, make it more professional and more aligned with the Ghanaian industry. However, coronavirus has really stunted our funding this year. And we had many grant funds and many corporate sponsors who'd pledged to give money, but that money has now been diverted elsewhere because of coronavirus. So if you like what you've heard so far and you feel like donating, then the link is just above here. If you click on that and donate what you can, that'd be great. The second way that people can help out, which is also infinitely valuable, is to volunteer some of their time. So it's a fully volunteer-run organisation. We have now about 16 volunteers for internationally and in Ghana, all who have an interest or education or professionals in renewable energy and environmental solutions. And if you would like to be part of that team and help us expand and grow this vision, either through marketing and fundraising or through actually delivering the courses, then please get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much, both of you, for talking to us about Dream Renewables. If you are interested to get involved, you can check out their website, and we will put the link down in the description below. Thank you both.
Next up, we partnered with the world-renowned Ashden organisation, which showcases award-winning sustainable energy enterprises from around the globe. This year, the award for the Financial Innovation for Energy Access Award went to the Togolese Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Agency. Let's take a look at why.
Je suis Chegoun Bakari, conseiller du président de la République. Il y a d'abord eu la vision du président était de dire « Je veux atteindre l'électrification pour tous d'ici 2030 et je veux que ce soit une électrification qui soit respectueuse de l'environnement ». On a pris le temps de construire des bases solides et aujourd'hui on est dans la phase de déploiement de tout cela. Pour chaque village, on est allé calculer ce qu'on appelle le least cost of electricity, mais où il y a une faible densité de population et donc pour lesquels il n'y a pas de sens d'amener le réseau. Donc ce seront sûrement des kits solaires en fait. Il y a par contre des villages qui sont éloignés du réseau mais où il y a une forte densité de population où on va mettre des mini-grids. On s'est aussi rendu compte qu'il y a des gens qui vivent dans des zones où il y a l'électricité aujourd'hui mais qui n'ont pas accès à l'électricité et donc soient raccordés au réseau national. Le président a décidé de mettre en place en fait un fonds pour l'électrification des ménages. Et donc aujourd'hui au Togo, tous les ménages ruraux qui décident de passer du kérosène ou de la bougie au kit solaire ont tous les mois une subvention de $4 par mois. On veut que tout le monde ait accès à l'électricité.
And now I'll pass over to Clare Nasir, who brings us this month's Renewable Energy Weather Report.
Thanks, Lauren. So for your latest renewable energy newsflash, let's first take a look at how EU member states compare in their renewable energy development. This includes not only renewable electricity, but heat and transport too, which are significantly harder to decarbonise. Statistics show that Sweden is leading the way on renewable energy, with over 55% of its energy coming from renewable sources. The country far outstretched its 2020 target, with Finland and Latvia not far behind. Sweden's success is largely down to its hydropower abundance and relatively small population, but it also relies on nuclear and biomass for a large part of its power and energy. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, in Sydney, Australia, The city's electricity system is now powered by 100% solar and wind. All operations in the inner city, including streetlights, pools and the historic Sydney Town Hall, are now run on locally sourced clean energy. The switch is expected to save up to $500,000 a year over the next 10 years. Sydney sources renewable energy from 3 different generators: the Bowman Solar Farm in Wagga Wagga, Sapphire Wind Farm near Inverell, and the Shoalhaven Solar Farm in Nowra, which is part of a community-owned initiative. Last week, China switched on its latest mega dam. The construction of the hydropower plant goes back more than half a century. But after Bayheaton Dam gears up to full capacity in 2022, China will have completed half of the world's 10 biggest hydropower plants in just 10 years. However, China's hydro industry is now downshifting towards smaller projects and pumped energy storage, due to the falling costs of alternative renewable technologies like wind and solar. The European Union also unveiled its new green hydrogen vision last week. The EU hydrogen strategy sets out how from 2020 to 2024 it will support the installation of renewable hydrogen electrolyzers and the production of up to 1 million tonnes of renewable hydrogen. In the future, hydrogen will join electricity as an important energy carrier, since it can be made safely from renewable energy sources. It will also be used as a fuel for zero-emissions lorries, to heat homes and offices, and to fuel aircraft and ships. Executive Vice President for the Green Deal, Frans Timmermans, said, "The new hydrogen economy can be a growth engine to help overcome the economic damage caused by COVID-19. And finally, the UK government has announced funding for greener homes. The Greener Homes Grant looks to tackle the energy efficiency of the UK's older housing stock, which is one of the greatest decarbonisation challenges the UK is facing. Launching in September, the grant of up to £5,000 will help homeowners install insulation to help them keep warmer, use less energy and reduce their bills. Climate activists say this is a good step, although they are putting pressure on the government to increase the £2 billion allocated, as energy inefficient homes are thought to cost the UK £73 billion. And over 9,700 excess winter deaths are attributed to the negative health effects of living in a cold home in the UK every year. That's all for Rising Earth Renewables. Back to Lauren.
Thanks, Claire. Today, we've heard from several individuals and communities about ways that you can start living more sustainably right now. Let's emerge from COVID-19 lockdown with a new, refueled passion for fighting the climate crisis. There are so many resources out there where you can educate yourself about climate change and environmental policies. Let's break them down. Check out Jonathon Porritt's new book, Hope in Hell, A Decade to Confront the Climate Emergency. Check out Dream Renewables' website below so we can support and share their work. Check out the rest of the 2020 Ashden Award winners so you can explore the other amazing sustainable energy stories from around the globe. Finally, here are some campaigns that you can get behind this week. Thank you for watching Rising Earth News. Subscribe to our channel for more eco news and keep an eye out for the upcoming interviews which we will be releasing later on this week. We'd love to hear about how you are helping us to create a more sustainable world during our emergence from lockdown. So tweet, Instagram or Facebook us at Rising Earth News and please leave us a comment below. Stay safe, stay green and be a part of the age of restoration.